Abdurrahman from the US. Yes, sir.
My question is it permissible for your parents not to speak to you, i.e. severing kinship, for not obeying them in something that doesn't benefit them and possibly harming you? Or their excuse for something that is benefiting them is reputation. Um, if you would like an example, it's
Please.
like the cutting of the hair. Like let's say I want to grow my hair, I'm doing, not leaving parts and shaving parts. And what they want is, it is like in the culture or the community, it is normal. But the culture or the more my smaller community, it's not as normal, and they believe it is like you look crazy or something like that.
Are you
And
doing
is it?
are you doing qaza'?
No, not at all. That's what they want. They're saying, as long as you don't shave, you should leave some of it, but not a lot, rather than growing it all.
Okay, I will answer you, inshallah. Abdurrahman's question is not something that we just simply can draw the line and say yes or no. Boycotting your children for a legitimate reason is permissible. Why? Because they have the upper hand. They are in control. It is our duty to be dutiful to them, respectful and obedient. And if we fail in doing this, maybe not according to what we see, but according to what they see, they are entitled to reprimand us, to punish us through not speaking to us. And they wouldn't be cutting or severing the ties of kinship because they're doing it for a legitimate reason. And the Sunnah is filled with that. For example, Mother Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, when she boycotted her nephew, Abdullah ibn Zubair ibn al-Awwam. She is his maternal aunt. Abdullah's mother is Asma. But when he gave her money for her to spend, and she spent it all in seconds over charity, he got outraged because it was a huge amount of money. And he said, if she does not refrain from that, I'm going to put an authority on her expenditure so that she would not have any control over the wealth she has. And this is done with insane people, with people who are senile, or people who don't have control over what they spend. We call them in Arabic as-safih. So when she heard this, she was outraged. My nephew says this about me, and I am the wisest, or one of the wisest women of all times, and most knowledgeable, and I'm the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. I'm his maternal aunt. By Allah, I will not speak to him. So she boycotted him for a legitimate reason. And likewise, our parents are entitled to do such a thing if there is a legitimate reason. So if a father tells his son not to smoke, and the son is defiant and he smokes, or he parties, or he hangs out with bad company, and he doesn't listen to his father has the right to kick him out of the house, not to speak to him for a month or two, hoping that he will get back to his senses. The Prophet himself, ﷺ, ordered the people of Medina to boycott Ka'b ibn Malik and his friends, two friends, when they did not catch up with him and the Muslim army at the expedition of Tabuk. And it's mentioned in chapter 9, Surah At-Tawbah. And they boycotted them for 50 days. So it is a legitimate course of action to take from their perspective. Now, what about me as a son? Let's look into each matter and determine. You cannot, akhi, simply judge things from your own perspective. Now, if they tell you to have a normal haircut where there is no qaza', there's nothing wrong in following what they're saying, even if it goes against your preference, because most likely, and I'm not a soothsayer, alhamdulillah, but it seems to me that the way you want to grow your hair is either simulating and imitating the so-called quote-unquote mujahideen. So if you look at the typical mujahideen, you'll find that they're wearing a certain head wear or a cap, and they've got their hair so long as if they're hippies or women. Yes, this is an act of bravery in some tribes. There's no doubt about it. And most likely the mujahideen are so busy defending the religion of Allah than to take care of their hair. But you, my friend, living in the US, by looking the way you look, your parents have a reason to be afraid. When you have a grown beard and you're wearing your head, and most likely you're wearing a shirwal kameez, so whoa, this guy comes from the 70s or the 80s, and I don't know what's your last name. Maybe it's, you know, some name that may reflect, or you always call yourself like Abu Sufyan or Abu Dujana, or this fits like a glove. This is a cause for them to be concerned, and you may rethink obeying them and being normal, and Allah knows best.